This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Mabuhay! You're watching the Business Portal, your gateway to business trends and opportunities. And I'm your host, Howell Mabalo.
Good day, everyone. You're watching the Business Portal on the corporate world, your gateway to business trends and opportunities. And I'm your host, Renelyn Tan-Castillejos. Today, we have a full-packed show. We'll be talking to a lot of business leaders that showcase how they help Philippine economy. First on the segment are two women who are helping small, medium enterprises to make sure that their businesses are marketing the right way. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the people behind Right on Track. Let's all welcome on the show Ms. Koko Tamura, Production Head, and Shekina Alfonso, Copywriter.
Thank you so much for having us here on your show.
Thank you for coming. Good morning. Good day to you. We'd like to ask you, in this time and age where digital marketing, where social media marketing is so important, I know that a lot of SMEs also want to make sure that they're giving the right message to their consumers. Now, what makes Right on Track the company to get?
Actually, Right on Track as a boutique agency, it's very important for us that we customize our services to the needs of the client.
Yes.
So that's very important, especially with SMEs nowadays. No? There are cases when SMEs thought that they couldn't really get the services of advertising agencies.
Okay.
But when in fact, there are actually smaller agencies who are just willing to customize their needs for their benefit.
I believe that the history of Right on Track is very, very interesting. You started in 2013.
Yes.
And you started primarily as content creators?
Yes.
Is that correct? So maybe we can talk about that.
So as a content creator, so actually one of our parang roots would be we started out as a writer for different PR agencies as well and for magazines. So from that standpoint, we saw the need for content creation, so a specialized content creation. So that's how Right on Track was born. Then eventually, as we spoke with different clients and discovered what they actually needed, we expanded our services from graphic designs to PR and even events management.
And that's something that a lot of businesses today really need.
Yes.
You primarily consider yourself as a boutique marketing agency. And so can you share with us some of the trends that a lot of the SMEs right now are looking for when it comes to this service?
Actually, since it's we're in the digital age, so we also research and look for the common trends here in the Philippines. So when we're done with researching, we apply it with our clients.
Yes.
We make the content for them that is applicable for the target market nowadays.
So like trends like, for instance, the use of Facebook Live.
Yes.
So those things, use of Instagram, My Stories. So even to the specific details on how it is executed, like for instance, the use of boomerang.
That's popular now,
Yes.
even for a lot of companies.
Yeah, so those things actually, it's quite entertaining, but at the same time, it's actually a good platform to get the client's messages across. No? So that's how audiences or their customers can actually relate to their companies by using those kind of platforms.
And so it's nice to know that, for example, if you have maybe you're following different companies on the internet, it's not as easy as it seems. And I guess that's where the expertise of Right on Track comes in. Perhaps you can share some of the stories or some of the success stories you've had in helping SMEs?
Actually, one of the I guess the successful stories that we can share is when the China Travel Services came to the Philippines. So they wanted to promote Beijing here in the country.
As
So
a tourist
as a
destination?
tourist destination.
Okay.
So what they did was they called us up and asked how they can actually penetrate the market. So what we
Okay.
did was we created a campaign for them, an integrated campaign. For instance, we developed an event for them,
Okay.
tourism fair, and then we integrated it to their Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we actually tap actual travel agencies here in Metro Manila to witness the event. So those things actually everything from fabrication of the collateral to the setting up of the event, up to the coordination part, like tapping the travel agencies. We did everything for them.
I think we're seeing some photos of
Yeah.
the event that you
Yeah.
were talking about. So it's really a big event that you had
So-
perhaps the overall
Yes.
hands-on.
So that's actually a good thing about about a boutique agency like us. Now, what we do is we give special treatment to every client because that way you are guaranteed that the Right on Track can be a master of your product or your services. Unlike in bigger agencies where they have specific departments handling different accounts. So for us, it's one-on-one or one-to-one ratio.
So it's a more specialized way
Yes.
of doing things. Coco, perhaps some of our viewers are wondering, they might have the business on their own and they might be scared because like you mentioned earlier, some people think that hiring a marketing agency has a high cost. So perhaps you can give them a guide on how or when they know that they should approach one.
Actually, for us, no, our process is actually like this. So we go to the client, we ask them all the things that they need, like
Yes.
their objectives, their goals, and then we create a sort of menu for them.
Okay.
For the different. So what we try to productize every marketing service that's applicable for them. And then that way they can actually choose which one they can invest on or which one they can actually just do later on. So that way we were able to tailor fit it, of course, with the issue of budget limitation.
So that's how you're able to put the costs at a lower
Yes.
at a lower amount since the client themselves, they're the ones who choose which service to have. As a copywriter, Shekina, how do you find the Philippine consumer today, and what are the things that they enjoy reading or they enjoy just really maybe knowing more about?
Actually, right now, people, I think, want to know what is the latest news. What is actually we want to know more about what's the latest trends. Like
Yes.
from the simplest thing, like what's the latest color I should wear today.
That's true.
So in that way, actually, we also apply it in our content in terms of social medias. So we try to write about things that are actually
Maybe what's
that matter,
new,
yeah,
what
what
matters.
matters, yes.
And from that, from 2013, now it's 2017, what can people expect from Right on Track as we start the new year in a few months?
Actually, that's one of the cultures that we share in the company. We always want to innovate, and we always want to enhance whatever skills that we have now.
Right.
So that's how we try also to apply it also to our clients. So we always advise our clients that we have to do different out of the box things. Like for instance, use of scent in an advertising.
Scent?
Yes, scent.
Like for perfume?
Yeah. So
Wow.
we can apply actually that concept into a food business, for instance. So those things, those are the things we're trying to experiment on our own. At the same time, we're trying to maybe we'll launch it by next year.
So I like that. Innovation, I believe,
Yeah.
is the key ingredient for a lot of businesses to flourish today. And in your case, since you have a very young and vibrant team, I think that's an advantage for you. Let us talk about some of the challenges in this industry. What are perhaps some of the experiences you've had that haven't been too easy, and how did you overcome that?
I guess on the side of putting up a business like this, no, the first challenge is awareness. Since
Right.
you've mentioned that most SMEs only know the bigger agencies, so we're trying to market ourselves as well. So that's very important for us. So, and at the same time, another challenge is you've mentioned as well that we are young. So I'm not actually young, but I try to be young at heart. But because we're a young company, people or clients are actually having second thoughts on our credibility in terms of executing their projects or their campaigns. But as we always tell our clients, the younger we have on the team, the better it is. It's because we have more ideas to explore with, and those are the things that those are the things that only younger minds, the fresher minds, can actually produce.
I know that you have a lot of great clients. Perhaps you can talk about some of the ones you're handling.
Right now, yeah, I mentioned we also handle a motorcycling racing team. So that's actually one of it's quite challenging as well to handle a motorcycle racing team because, first off, some of us don't even know how to ride a motorcycle. So these things, this is a perfect example on how we try to master a client, no, or the product of a client. So even though we don't know anything about motorcycles, when we accept a project, we try to be a PhD on that. No? We
Yes.
do a lot of research. We even do experiential trials. So right now, even though I haven't ridden a motorcycle before, right now, I actually try to ride and see the feeling. No? So it's very important for us to explore it that way. So.
And I guess I really feel not just the concern, but I guess the love that you have for each company that you handle.
Yes.
Being a boutique agency, I can see the advantages because, of course, if you're an SME or your company that really just wants to build your name out there, the personal touch that you give is very special. So I'm sure a lot of the people in your team are also happy with that. I know that you have a really nice, positive office culture in your place. Perhaps you can talk about that.
Actually, since we're composed of a lot of creative people, we have fun, but we meet the deadline. So
Very important.
Actually, have you heard about the Samyang challenge? Yeah. So it's
Maybe
a
you can
it's a
tell our
challenge
viewers.
actually that you eat spicy noodles and whoever finishes first wins. We also did that. So, in terms of work, we have 3 stages when it comes to quality checking.
Oh,
so
okay.
before it gets posted on the social media, or before we submit it to the client, it gets before after the content team writes it. So the graphics team executes the content, and then
Yes.
they return it to us for quality checking.
So that's why you're really assured that whatever your client gets, it passed through a very detailed way of making sure that they have the best content out there. So you do research, you put in the graphics or whatever social media accounts that they have, and then you put it out there.
So that's very important, especially with boutique agencies, no? Because we want to do it as fast as we could to respond to the need. Because
How fast is fast, Coco?
fast is sometimes whenever a client requests a certain material to be published. So actually, in regular days, when it's not actually being time pressured, usually we were able to produce it within a week.
Okay, that's
But
fast.
yes, but in times when the client actually has a need or a certain deadline, so we can actually do it as quick as 2 days or maybe
Nice.
3 days, yeah, or today.
Especially, for example, the company is in a situation that really needs quick action. That's very handy.
So that's actually something that the digital age, affected. No?
I agree. I agree. So, Coco, if they'd like to get in touch with you, what are the ways? You have a website? Do you have a phone number they can
So
get in touch
for
with?
those people who would want to check out our services, they can actually log in or visit www.rightontrack.ph. And of course, they can also call us via 805-2302 and 744-1402.
And so when they call or when they get in touch with you, it's not a requirement for them to have background or have some agency worked with before. They can be a newbie in this way.
Actually, even those who are still thinking about putting up a business, so we have clients like those. They're still on the process of like getting permits, and they wanted our help in terms of creating their logos, their taglines, their company profile. So those businesses, actually, we can actually help them.
That's great. Koko and Shekina, we don't have much time anymore, but I'd like to ask you perhaps to share one tip for our SMEs who are watching when it comes to marketing. What's one thing that will perhaps help them in their business?
Actually, the most important thing nowadays is for businesses or for business owners to listen. Yes. Because when they listen, they'll be able to see how their consumers are thinking. And that way, they can actually tweak their messages or probably their Facebook page into the likings of their consumers.
Yes.
So that's how you attract. That's how you attract the customers.
Very well said. Shekina?
I think my tip would be have an online footprint now, because we're in the digital age, and I think they should because they're online, they would be able to reach everyone. Yes, 24/7.
Very
yes.
important. And on that note, please invite them again to visit your website.
So you can check out www.rightontrack.ph, and you can also email us at rightontrack.ph.
Thank you so much, Koko. It's been a pleasure. It's great that you're helping a lot of SMEs, and I really wish you all the best in having that important digital footprint that you talked about. So I know the time is not enough. Perhaps we can invite you again for a
We'll
next
be happy
interview.
To be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Friends, you've heard it from the production head of Right on Track, Ms. Koko Tamura, and the copywriter, Ms. Shekina Alfonso. We hope that you learned when it comes to small, medium enterprises, you have to make sure that you invest in your marketing. Please don't change your channel. We'll be right back.